Okay, so this is my first attempt to review video games, because actually I don't really play video games like I have a PS3, but I don't really, I'm not like an online player. Like the closest I got to online was Call of Duty. And I'm more into movies and music and wrestling than I am into video games, but I'm gonna try to review two video games. So the first video game I have up is, let's go with the not as famous, Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge. When I first heard it, I wasn't really interested in it, and the only reason why I got it was because my sister actually, she saw how much I liked the lead single from this game. I think it was called Still Alive, and she bought the game as like a joke, like saying, "Haha, you like the song, so I bought you the game." And the game is actually cheap, um, so I played it as a getaway from Call of Duty, because around that time I was hooked on Call of Duty. So this game, after playing the Call of Duty style video games, this game actually it felt really weird the first time, because I'm not really used to playing these kinds of games where it's I think it's called platforming or whatever. It's in the style of Prince of Persia, where you're jumping around, you gotta hit your target at the right moment, and then you gotta keep hitting these combos so you can keep going and going, and if you fall once, you die, or if you fall once, then if you try to start again, then you might fail. I mean, that kind of video game style. And I'm sorry, I have a cold. And I did play Prince of Persia, and it is a pretty good game. And this one actually, even though I played Prince of Persia, this one felt really different since it was first person. Like, I didn't think it would be that big a deal, but the first person really is a big a deal, because you are really seeing like what she's seeing, like she's jumping around, and it gets kind of dizzying at some points if you're playing this game for like on and on and on. But overall, it's pretty fun actually, jumping around and running to your next target, because it just felt really, what's the word, different, because whenever I'm playing a first person game, I usually think of like Call of Duty, where most of the time I'm just hiding and coming up and shooting. Like, no, I'm not a camper, but this kind of game, most of the time you're running and you're trying to do the aerial acrobatics to get away from whoever's chasing you, and it felt really different, but at the same time it felt fun, I guess. And the controls, okay, let me break down the usual like review methods. The controls are pretty solid. I mean, like, I have no real complaints against the controls, except maybe the jump, because the jump in this game, for me, it never really felt like set. Like, you have to guesstimate how much force you have to put into the jump to make it. Like, I remember there was this part where you had to jump from one building to another in some level, but I kept either missing the target, or I hit the target but I accidentally hurt myself. Like, you have to, a lot of the game is guessing. And audio, I already said that I like the lead single. I didn't listen to the remixes, but the soundtrack is, I don't know, it adds to the mood. The story, I'm not gonna go to online, so I'm just gonna go to story, because I don't really play online. The story is actually, I wasn't following most of the story, because I was like focused on the gameplay. But the story, I don't really remember the story. Like, that was one of my problems, because the story was a little confusing. Like, it's something about the runners, and they're being hunted down, and there's like this complex plot to have a runner system police runner system to catch the other runners, and they did this by like by hiring like your friend in the beginning. Like I don't know if someone can explain to me the story, because I tried my best to follow the story, and usually I'm pretty good at following stories, but this one actually confused me, and I blame that mostly on the gameplay, because most of the time I just don't listen to the cutscenes because I want to get to the gameplay. You know, I hope that's understandable. So another complaint. No, I don't have any other complaints. I mean, if I could nitpick, I don't really like how the game kind of tells you where to go, where it's like it wherever the target where you need to go will always blink red or flash red, whatever. And that to me was kind of like it. It made the game feel like you're just following the arrows, like go left, go right, and even though it's like you can free roam, I mean, like it doesn't feel like a free roaming game because of the fact it's flashing red. You know, like I thought. I mean, they could have done this thing where it's like it had like an arrow. You can go this way or you can go this way. Like instead of just going, you have to go this way in order for the story to continue. That was one of my problems. But overall, Mirror's Edge is definitely not a bad game. I mean, it takes some time to get used to, but so does Prince of Persia. So I suggest giving this game a look. It's definitely underrated because this don't think it was that famous, but yeah, it was a good game.